Another weekend, another old guy's crit. This week is the Stapleton Criterium. It's only been around for about this is its second year. It's put on by my friends at Palmares Racing. 40-minute race, but we did 20 laps. You can see the course profile. It's shaped like a gun. My name is Morgan Brown, also known as the Pack Filler. I'm with Pedal Racing out of Littleton, Colorado. So today's race was a combined 40 plus Cat 4, 50 plus Cat 4 field. We had about 30 racers, plus or minus. Only 14 in the 40 plus 4s, which is kind of sad. First lap was really slow. We averaged about 24 miles an hour. People are taking it easy. I'd never ridden this course before. So I think when you get to be our age, if you're doing 20 laps, you might as well do one easy just to see what the course is all about. So it's got an uphill section. We've just got 3 180-degree turns. Now we're going back downhill. Really the closest thing to a sketchy turn would be this turn here, because it is downhill. If there was a tailwind, it could get really fast. It wasn't really that fast today. You could pedal through both of the 180-degree turns quite easily. Winds were out of the east today pretty consistently. Not a huge factor, but this section here, the backstretch, the headwind section. So a little harder to, ideally, if you wanted to get away into the final turn, you'd have a tailwind, but that's that. All right, so really pretty boring race. From my standpoint, I made it boring by tail gunning the first 5 laps or so and kind of sitting in for most of the race, really. So all the boring laps, I'm going to speed them up by 4x, so you won't have to sit here all day. Second lap, we sped it up to about 26 miles an hour. The fastest lap was a little over 27. The slower laps were in the 25 mile per hour range. You can see these, for Cat 4s, we're being very good racers and getting kind of strung out, not going 4 abreast into the turns. So it was really, given how many turns, it was a fairly, kind of technical course. So I think no crashes and people behaved well for the most part. On the third lap now, a little bit slower. See, I'm sitting here about third from the back. You could tail gun these things. Not a huge... First half of the race, there was quite a bit of braking into the turns, but as people got more comfortable, it got faster. This is the tailwind section. There we're coming back 180 degrees, uphill, 180 degrees, downhill. Almost looks like a pro peloton if you didn't know any better. Of course, those guys go about 5 miles an hour faster. It's crazy. Lap 4, slower, down to about 25 miles an hour. If you look at my channel, you might have seen from a previous crit, the Longmont crit a few weeks ago, I did a side-by-side comparison of Cat 1, 2, 3 race versus the Cat 4 race. And it was pretty interesting. And actually, the guy who, Simon, the guy who shared his video with me for the Longmont crit, he told me that the 40 plus race was actually faster than the Pro 1-2 race. Okay, so this is lap 6, which actually was the fastest lap of the course of the day, at least from my GPS. I don't know what to make of that. The last lap was only the 3rd fastest. It doesn't look like we're going very fast in here, but I think on the back stretch we picked it up. I believe that there was a breakaway. It's hard for me to see what's going on. I can only see what's right in front of me, but there was like a 4 or 5 man breakaway that was eventually caught. So I think the remember about 3 fast laps in a row. I suspect that's where the field was trying to catch up to the breakaway. And one of my teammates, the guy who won the race, Greg, was in the breakaway. We are stringing it out. Yeah, you can see some guys up the road there. They looks like the breakaway. It doesn't seem to have any cohesion. This is kind of a bittersweet race for me because my 2 teammates, Greg and Robert, were actually going to work for me today. The plan was for me to basically come out of that back straightaway that we're on now, and Greg was going to just blow it out, and I was going to go around him, final stretch around that corner, balls to the wall, and waltz in for the finish, but didn't play out that way. All right, so again, in for another 5 laps or so of, actually 6 more laps of pretty boring racing. I think not until lap 12 or 13 did it get interesting. I'm just kind of sitting in near the back of the group, kind of a lame place to sit, but it was pretty safe. And really, the accordion effect wasn't that bad at all today. I don't know why that was. Usually, you get accordion pretty badly when you sit in the back, but I guess it wasn't big enough in the field, and it was nice and strung out. Yeah, you could pedal through all these corners. Maybe except maybe this downhill corner right there. Certainly the 180s. One lap I went off the front, and I was able to take the final 180 at 26 miles an hour, pedaling the whole way. So it's a cool fast course. It's really one of the coolest crits in Colorado that I've done since my 4 years of racing here. I don't know how many different courses I've done, but probably at least 12 courses, many different crits. So Mod Market is the team in yellow. I think they sent the most racers. They don't have a lot of 40 plus riders, but they've got a huge group of 50 plus riders. Unfortunately for them, they weren't able to organize. But one of their guys definitely screwed me up in the last lap. But, so something worked. Pretty hot, 85 degrees Fahrenheit. So my heart rate's up there, a little higher than you'd hope, but I tend to max out about 175 plus or minus. Hotter it gets, the faster your heart beats. So I'm moving up a little bit. I got sick of tailgunning it. Lap 12. Okay, so this is a fairly slow lap. I'm guessing I couldn't tell from where I was riding back in the boring spot. But I'm pretty sure that we caught the breakaway, and hence the slowdown. Group of lapped riders there. Always sketchy. All right, so I'm gonna slow the video down here. I kind of got bored of sitting in the group, so this headwind section, the group is lollygagging. So I went on the outside, left side, into the final 180, watched my speed. I'm doing 25, 26, pedaling the whole way. I feel like that inside line was definitely that was the place to be. So here I got a little bit of a gap, doing not exactly breakaway power. I probably should have put in a harder effort if I wanted to go anywhere. Kind of just wanted to shake things up. And see the guy behind me caught up pretty easily. It's funny, I found him after the race. We were chatting, and he said, "Oh man, I was sitting right behind you, and it was great. I was hardly having to work at all, and it wasn't making any noise as soon as I pulled up in your wheel." That's never. For those of you who don't know me, I'm 6'8" or over 2 meters tall, and I just make a huge windbreak. So for me to make an attack work, I've really got to make a gap. If those guys get any of the graph stretches for probably 10 feet behind me. All right, so I lasted almost a lap, and I'm coming here for near around the uphill section. I strung the field out pretty good, but definitely been caught. There's not really a gap, so it's not going to go anywhere. I'm not weak, but I don't think I have a 7 lap solo race in me. So I just sat up right here, and we'll speed it back up for another few laps of nothing. So after I sat up, this lap here was the slowest lap of the day, even slower than the first lap. We're down to under 24 miles an hour. And you can see as those speeds drop, you see how bunched up we get, going 3 abreast into the turns. I just hate it. So much safer when you're strung out. A little bit of bumping. I had a few points of contact today. Here I am in the very back of the race. I think the field is smaller. I don't know how many have been dropped. We certainly don't have 30 riders in this main group. Interestingly, there's a guy off the front, and he one of the 50 plus riders actually won the race, beat everybody, Scott, and I don't know when he got away. He's an unaffiliated rider, and I think that everybody's got tunnel vision. They're paying attention to the guys on the big teams, watching if there's going to be some sort of team tactic associated with the breakaway. Who's in the breakaway? Does this team have somebody in the breakaway? Anyway, I don't know if he just slipped away, but I was not aware that there was a man off the front at all. And you feel like kind of an idiot when a guy wins a race like that. All right, second to last. So lap 18, we went for 20, speeding up a little bit up to 26 miles an hour. I'm still sitting near the back. I need to move up. All right, so here I like this outside line. Here's my teammate Greg, who won the race in front of me. He's going for it. I'm going to pull his wheel. The idea was that Greg was going to lead me out, so I figured, you know what, I need to be in this guy's wheel. So we kind of dive bombed this inside corner, but I called it out. And yeah, now I went from 25th wheel to second or third wheel. Pretty easy to move up in the back stretch.
How will they finish this race?
Unfortunately, for the second to last lap, we weren't going all that fast. We were still under 25 miles an hour. Just sitting on Greg's wheel. We really need some help, though. We've got Daryl Schultz. He's a 50 plus rider on my team. He's behind me. Yeah, ideally, if Greg was going to lead me out, he wouldn't be working so hard right now. So I'm kind of pissed because I don't until I watch this is the first time I've watched this video all the way through. I don't really know what happened. how did I go from second wheel with a lap and a half to go? There they go. There's a move. That was a bogus move. Okay, dive bomb the inside corner, and I don't think he really, at the end of the day, he didn't really finish that high. So I gave up about 6, 7 spots right there, giving up spots left and right. Done sitting maybe 8th wheel. I need to be fighting for position here, but I'm just not fighting. Should have moved up right here. Third. There goes that Robert. That's my teammate Robert. He got third. And no surprise. If you want to go where the action is, you gotta be up there. Alright, final 180. Sitting about 10th wheel. Still giving up spots. Coming up on the last lap. I don't know what I'm doing here. I had pretty good legs today, but just didn't fight for position when I needed to.
What's your team's organized? Palmares, 1, 2, 3, old school.
There's an attack. So this was an interesting. This attack kind of screwed everything up. There's Mod Market. They sent a couple guys up, and I got swamped, and I've given up 3 more wheels. I don't know what's going on. I am not well positioned, and we're all bunched up. We're slowing down. I'm not well positioned with half a mile to go. Yeah, look at that. I'm in 15th wheel now. Really, you can't move up on these little short legs right here. You can only move up on the backside. So my only chance is to go balls to the wall on that back straightaway, and I've got the power to do that kind of effort, but I just didn't. We bunched up there. I didn't feel like I had a good line. Not like I'm doing no power, 500 watts, but here I needed to just pummel right through if those Mod Market guys were blocking the way. There, the guy who attacked, pulling off. Had a pretty good last corner. Was able to pull it and make up some ground here, and pretty quickly get into my sprint, but I'm sprinting for peanuts at this point. Hit almost 1200 watts on the sprint, which to me is pretty good. 10th out of 14th, pretty crappy.